Denon for Deno is like Nodemon for Node.js. It restarts your application anytime you save some changes. In this tutorial, we'll have a look at it, so let's just jump straight into it. To install Denon, we'll jump into the directory here and we'll just follow this command to install it through terminal. I'll link it in the description below so that you guys can do this as well. We'll paste this in and this will install all the components we need to be able to run it. What it's going to do is it's going to wrap Deno so that it automatically works inside our application when we run Denon instead of Deno. Now that that's done, we'll be able to test it out immediately. Let's do a simple application here with a console log hello world. And this is nothing special, but what we're going to do is we're going to save this and run this in our console by running Denon and passing in the path to our application, which is just server.js. When we do this, we can see that our hello world ran and it exited out of the application. But say we want to say something else, such as hello earth. So I'm going to save that. And when I do, you can see that the application automatically reran, which is really cool. This is essentially how Nodemon works on Node.js, but now we're implementing the same sort of structure on Deno. Denon also has some really cool features, like being able to set a configuration file when you're loading it up. And this is done by simply running denon -- init. So let's put this into our console and we'll generate a file here. This file is called denon.json and this JSON has our configuration to get us started. In this case, our start is actually on server.js. So we'll pass that in. And now if we want to run Denon, we simply run denon start and this will start our application. In this case, I believe I've called this server.js, so we'll just resave that and rerun it. And when we do, we'll be able to see that our server has a hello world here, and we can change this back to hello earth again and it automatically updates. When we're using the configuration file, we can pass in anything for the start, such as the file name, or run the file name, or Deno run the file name. But something that happens a lot when you're using Deno is that you need to pass in different types of permissions and you need to allow them. And we're going to have a look at how this is made much easier with Denon. So for example, if we're in a Deno application and we need to Deno run a file, we'll pass in the flag allow-nat. And when we do, we'll essentially have network permissions to that application. However, in Denon, we can do this as well by passing in that flag manually, like this in our application. And when we do, we sort of get these same permissions allowed. We can make this a lot easier with the configuration file. So here in the configuration file, we can actually pass in an attribute called allow here. And when we do, we can pass in an array. In this array, we can pass in the flag that we want to allow. So in this case, we want to allow the net flag. We'll hit save on that and we'll rerun the application. And in this case, we don't have to pass in any additional information besides Denon and to start the application. When we do, we can see that we're starting the application with those flags allowed, and essentially those are ready to go. So if we want to pass in more things and restart it, it automatically updates, which is really cool and makes life a lot simpler. We can take this a step further and pass in environmental variables, so they're straight in our configuration file. And here we've got an example where we're passing in a token, and this token has a key of super secret token. And what we're going to do is we're going to update our configuration. In our console.log, we'll pass in deno.env.getToken, and this will grab our token when it's ready. And here in our configuration, we're just going to pass in this environmental variable and set it in our configuration. But the other thing we'll need to do here is we'll also need to pass in to allow reading and accessing environmental variables. So we'll pass this into our allow configuration array as well. And now we can simply run denon start. When we do, it's going to grab that token and it's going to print it out here on our console.log, where we've actually grabbed it from the Deno environmental variables. This is an example of how using Denon makes life a little bit easier. And now we can update this anytime we need to, and those environmental variables are automatically passed through. There's a lot more you can do with Denon, such as setting what type of files are being listened to and the intervals at which you reload, as well as doing things like logging and lots of other stuff. It's a great package to check out and just one of many on the Deno library. If you want more tutorials like this, let me know, because my name is Adrian and I do videos around design and development. So if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.